the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. It is a canyon cut deep into the Colorado Plateau. At its deepest is 2,722 feet deep. There are other deeper canyons in the United States, but none combine such depth, narrow openings, and sheer walls.
At its narrowest, it's just 40 feet wide at the bottom. It's named not just for its black walls, but because parts of the canyon only receive 33 minutes of sunlight in a day due to the extreme depth and narrowness, accentuating the darkness of the rock.
The Gunnison River flows for 12 miles through the national park and drops an average of 34 feet per mile through the entire canyon. To put that in perspective, that makes it the 5th steepest in North America, and about 4 times steeper than the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon, which drops an average of 7.5 feet per mile.
The South Rim Road follows the South Rim, with frequent stops at viewpoints. We stopped in at almost every one, and the situation at each was similar. A short hike of a few hundred feet to a viewpoint overlooking the canyon below. The walls of the canyon are made of Precambrian gneiss and schist that formed 1.7 billion years ago during a time of intense volcanic activity. The lighter lines crossing the black walls are pegmatite dikes, sheets of pale-coloured igneous rock.
As always, our first stop is the visitor center, and we got our passport book stamped, we watched the park movie, and then after that we took the drive along the South Rim and stopped along the viewpoints. Now we are at the Painted Wall overlook. Here, the Painted Wall cliff at 2,300 feet is the tallest cliff in Colorado. Around 40 to 70 million years ago, the entire area was raised up, high above the surrounding area. And volcanic activity around 30 million years ago buried the area in thousands of feet of volcanic ash and rock. About 15 million years ago, the Gunnison River set its course, cutting through this top layer of relatively soft volcanic deposits.
About 2 to 3 million years ago, the area was lifted up yet again. Ordinarily, the river would have changed course, but since its course had already been set in the softer top layer of rock, it was stuck. The river was much more powerful than it is today, and it began cutting through the extremely hard metamorphic rock layer that formed 1.7 billion years ago at a rate of about 1 inch every 100 years.
While that sounds slow, in geological terms, that's fast. With its course locked, it had nowhere to go and just carried on carving down into the rock. And that fast cutting speed is what gave the Black Canyon of the Gunnison the steep walls we see today. We finished the night with a sunset at the Dragon Point. This morning we have come back, and today we're hiking the Warner Point Trail. The Warner Trail is a nature trail, so at the trail start you can pick up this booklet, and there are these markers, and at this marker this is Utah juniper.
Near the Black Canyon is an area known as the Uncompahgre Valley, a vast agricultural area that attracted a lot of settlers in the late 19th century. A shortage of water led the US Geological Survey to commission an expedition, led by William Torrance, to look for a site to build a tunnel to divert water from the Gunnison River to the Uncompahgre Valley.
This is a really old pinyon tree. It could be up to 850 years old, and in fact a lot of trees around here can be that old. This place is special because you get a whole forest of very old trees, not just individual single trees.
Black Canyon of the Gunnison was originally designated as a national monument by President Herbert Hoover on March 2, 1933, before being redesignated as a national park on October 21st, 1999.
The Warner Point Trail was a short one. It was 1.6 miles and it took us about an hour and 20 minutes, and it was a little bit of elevation gain, but not too much. But the views at the end were spectacular. You could kind of see where the canyon ends and the rolling hill starts.
We've just driven down East Portal Road all the way to the bottom of the canyon here. It's a really steep road, it's about 5 miles long, and at its steepest it's about 16%. They advise you strongly to use low gears coming down and obviously low gears going back up. We even saw one Land Cruiser that overheated on the way back up. So as we're heading up there, we're going to see if they're okay and see if we can help. The views down here are pretty incredible though. We can see the canyon behind me and the river. Also, we've got the tunnel that takes water from here into the neighbouring valley that's turned what was previously badlands into really viable farming land. That tunnel also starts from the river just here as well. When the tunnel was completed in 1909, it was the world's longest irrigation tunnel, at nearly 6 miles long. We only arrived here at Black Canyon of the Gunnison yesterday afternoon, so our visit here has been very short. Yesterday we did some nice little hikes on the scenic drive, just hiking to the viewpoints and things. This morning we've been out and done the Warner Point Trail, the little nature trail with the markers and the little book to read. And then lastly we've just driven down East Portal Road, down to see the river and be really inside the canyon. We've really enjoyed this time though here at Black Canyon of the Gunnison. I would definitely recommend visiting here. You don't need a long time to come and really experience what this is about, but there is more to do. We didn't get a chance to do any wilderness hiking down into the canyon, or to visit the North Rim on the other side as well. So there's definitely more for us to come back and explore in the future. While we've been here, we've been camping just for the one night here at the South Rim Campground. The sites here are really nice. They're surrounded by all the shrubs and the plants and things, which make them really beautiful. There's not really too many big trees to worry about, so if you've got solar on the roof, don't worry too much. There's probably not going to be too much to block that. But some of the sites are really small. We're in a site that says up to 25 feet, and we're 24 foot 10 inches, so we're right under that limit, and we can just get the truck in. If you're concerned about it at all, my recommendation is to give the visitor centre a call, let them know, and make sure you find a site that's going to work for you. We've loved this site though, it's worked really well, nice little cosy area. But time for us to move on and go and visit the Kurrikanti National Recreation Area, which is just up the river from here. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to our channel and we'll see you next time.